Welcome, and thank you for listening. In this episode of the Into the Shadows podcast, I will be discussing the concept of fear. Fear is something we all experience more often than we would like to admit to others, and more importantly, to ourselves. But before moving any further, we have to distinguish fear from being scared. Fears can scare us, but being scared of something isn't necessarily the same as fearing it. For example, if we like to watch scary movies, we may get scared by certain scenes in the movie, but we aren't necessarily afraid to watch the movie because we have a fear of scary movies. Being scared is a momentary thing. We may get shocked and startled by it. We may even scream and cry. But after some consoling and time, it passes. Fear, on the other hand, is more deeply rooted. It is one of the most powerful emotions we experience as people. It can be caused by a multitude of things, and it has the power to cripple us, leave us feeling petrified and empty. It is something which will not go away with the snap of a finger. Facing your fears and overcoming them is a difficult ordeal, and I don't claim to know what the best way to do it is, or even suggest that everyone needs to do it. But based on my own life experiences, I don't think fears are something which can be overcome, because they're much more deeply rooted and have a bigger impact on us than we are even consciously aware of. As I discuss in my book, my biggest fear in life is death. Not the act of dying, but in what comes after death. The uncertainty of it, and a fear of enduring the same torment of nothingness and hell I experienced in my last near-death experience. This is a fear I have acknowledged, and is one which has both controlled my life and drove my actions over the last several years. It has forced me to take steps to try and avoid and prevent the outcome I dread, all the while knowing my actions would most likely be in vain. For a while, I believed that was the extent of my fear, but recently, while undertaking a breath meditation session, I discovered the full extent of my fear. Typically, the form of meditation I practice is focused on the mind, canceling out all external noise, being still, present, and letting my mind drift in the silence to reach truths. But this form of meditation I was about to undertake was designed to help you align the mind and the body through variations of heavy breathing in order to uncover and unlock the blockages within you, whether they be emotional in nature, such as a repressed emotion, or physical in nature, such as a sore back muscle you couldn't quite reach. During the meditation, we were told to envision a bridge stretching out from your heart to your goals in life, your purpose. As I envisioned this bridge, I saw a physical representation of myself start to walk across the bridge. But when I got to the center of the bridge, I froze. I was literally unable to take another step. I kept yelling at my body to move, but it just wouldn't. It was as if my mind and body were no longer in sync. The connection had been severed. My mind kept screaming, "Go!" But it was as if someone had pressed the pause button on my body. Then for the real me, the one who was lying down and meditating, breathing became difficult. My whole body became tense, and my right quadricep muscle began to convulse uncontrollably, while this bridge in my vision began to collapse under me, and the destination on the other side began to fade further and further away into the distance. This bridge was supposed to lead to our goal, our purpose, and my purpose was the avoidance of my fear of the afterlife. Finding something to prevent the outcome I dread. A purpose, a journey with no how-to manual or blueprint, a journey with no clear endpoint. As a result, the destination kept fading further and further into the distance. I quickly realized that this thing I had believed to simply be a fear of the afterlife had taken root and interwoven itself into other facets of my consciousness. I had always acknowledged and told myself I will most likely never find an answer to the questions I seek, or reach my life's purpose. But now, with my destination and purpose being on the other side of this bridge, I was frozen in my tracks, petrified, stuck, unable to move from the center of the bridge. I now had a fear of reaching the other side. What if I reach the other side, and what I find doesn't do anything to help me avoid that which I dread? What if I reach the other side and get what I'm looking for? What do I do with the rest of my life now that my life's purpose is complete? This fear of the unknown, fear of uncertainty, which I was never consciously aware of or even knew existed, was collapsing the bridge under my feet and immobilizing my physical body. Then I came to realize that moving forward wasn't a matter of overcoming my fears, but rather a case of impact versus impairment. Regardless of what stage in life we're in, fear will always impact us. We can't stop ourselves from feeling the emotion of fear any more than we can stop ourselves from breathing if we want to continue living. It will always be present, no matter what we do. But the thing we can control, the thing we have power over, is on whether we let our fears impair us from doing the things we want. As soon as I came to this realization, I declared that despite the uncertainty of what awaits me on the other side, I can't let it keep me frozen in the middle of this bridge. Regardless of what may come, I have to keep moving forward. Just then, the convulsing in my quad stopped. Breathing became easier. My body relaxed. The collapsed bridge was reconstructed, and I started walking across it again. The bridge was now much longer, and the destination further, but now my path was finally in full view. Fears have a way of stopping us dead in our tracks, and we can't do anything about that, because emotions are things we feel, not control. But what is in our power is whether we let those emotions impair us. It's not the easiest thing to do, but there is a strength and power which comes from not letting your fears impair you. And with that, I leave you until next time.